Yo, what's up? This your boy Travis Bethay, and this is an impromptu episode to the Anything Goes podcast. We're gonna talk about sports today. I usually don't upload the sports podcast to the feed, to the Anything Goes podcast feed, which you can find on iTunes, Google Play Music, Spotify. You know, if you have an iPhone, you hit the podcast button, look up Anything Goes, and you'll, have the podcast. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, let your friends know. I usually don't upload these to there, but I'm going to start uploading all of my content, all of my audio through the Anchor app so it'll disperse to all of the podcast platform. So, this is impromptu, but I told y'all we were going to talk basketball. We was going to talk the first round of the playoffs, the second round of the playoffs. We're going to talk about the boxing match last weekend between Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis. Tank knocked him out in the seventh round, with a body shot, a brutal body shot. And we're going to talk about the NFL draft, man. So, buckle up and let's get to it. Also, tomorrow on Sunday, I've been gone for a while, haven't recorded a podcast, haven't did an interview in 6 months, and I haven't done a podcast, since last year. Tomorrow you will get your first full official podcast from me. I'm back and I'm not leaving. We will talk more in depth about that tomorrow. But today, let's get to this basketball. Tonight we have game one of the second round, the semifinal. We have the Phoenix Suns, who has been a juggernaut this playoffs, going against the Denver Nuggets, who has also been a juggernaut. Both teams won their series, their first round series 4-1. Kudos to them. I had no real worries about Denver coming out of their series against Minnesota because Minnesota just isn't that good to me. Karl Anthony Towns, he's a sometime, all-star. He should be way better than what he plays. Anthony Edwards is the man, but he needs help. He can't do it all by himself. So I really didn't think that Denver would have any trouble with them. They dropped the game, and, Minnesota, they did put up a valiant effort. They fought, but I predicted that they would lose. I thought they would get swept, and, it was a gentleman's sweep. Phoenix, I think, and I'm going to be completely honest, if Kawhi Leonard does not get hurt, that series goes 7. And in a 7-game series, I told y'all I thought Phoenix was going to pull it out, but the way it looked, those first 2 games, I think the Clippers were going to take that series, man. And we're going to talk more in depth about that, primarily Russell Westbrook, later on in the podcast. But, they lost 4-1. Kawhi, he tore his meniscus in his knee. Russell Westbrook went at it by himself. Like I said, we're going to talk about Russ because that man has been disrespected the last few years in the league, and I don't understand why, but he shut a lot of people up this playoff run because he did not have Paul George. He didn't have Kawhi Leonard. He went at it, on his own, and he showed the hell out. So, kudos to him. But tonight we get that game 1 matchup, man. My prediction for this series, I do not want Phoenix to win. I'm not going to lie. I'm not a Phoenix fan. But I believe they're going to take this series, and I believe they'll take it in 6 games. I believe they're going to win 4-2. I just don't think Denver is consistent enough to beat them 4 times. I just don't. Jokic is great. Phoenix doesn't have an answer for him, but I don't believe Denver has an answer for Devin Booker or Kevin Durant, and they're both they're on the same team. That's just a high-powered offense, man. I believe Devin Booker averaged 37 points the first series, again, that first round against the Clippers. He showed the hell out. So, KD makes it more easy for him. He's going to be more wide open. He's starting to hit the three-point shot more efficiently. He's more comfortable with it. And who wouldn't be when you have this 7-foot unicorn beside you that can go get a bucket at any given time, and is a and is as efficient as any other scoring superstar in NBA history, man. So I believe that, Phoenix will get game one and they'll just get the series in six. So let's rewind and let's go back and recap the first round series, man. It was really, really not too interesting. We still have one series going on, and we're gonna start there tomorrow. We have a pivotal game seven, and my boy is playing. Look, I'm very unbiased when it comes to sports, but I'm gonna tell you now, my two favorite players in the NBA are Steph Curry and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Steph has been my guy since he's got to the league. I liked him at Davidson, but when he started balling, and this was before they went on this run, of winning four titles, I just knew dude was special. You know what I'm saying? So I've been a fan. I'm very like open and honest about it. When he plays bad, I'm honest about that. But I'm not one of these people that's a hater. He's top 10 all time. And he very well could go down as the greatest point guard of all time. So let me get that out the way. But my guys, they up against it. I have them winning the championship, but they're going up against a young juggernaut in the Sacramento Kings, the highest scoring offense this year. De'Aaron Fox has been balling. Malik Monk has been balling. This team, they're showing that they're fearless. Last night they went into Golden State and they stole game six. And I really can't say they stole it. They beat the hell out of the Warriors. I don't know what was going on. I don't know if Golden State was just looking past them and looking forward to the next series, which, we're going to get into what that could possibly be. LA versus Sacramento or LA versus Golden State. I don't know if they were looking, just looking past them, but those boys came out and they played their ass off, and Golden State came out playing like ass. We just gonna be honest. I don't know what the hell Jordan Poole was doing yesterday, but young fella, you got to get it together because they need you. They need you. They need Wiggins. They need, Steph and Clay are gonna do what they do. But it's the others around them that have to step up. Game five, they put on a performance for the ages because a few people came along for the ride. You had Draymond scoring over 20. You had Wiggins. You had Poole. And Steph does what Steph does. And he did what he was, he was on point last night. But they had way too many turnovers. And Sacramento just showed that they were fearless, that they were not going to lay down for Golden State. So tomorrow, 3:30 Eastern Standard Time, I will be glued watching my boys. Hopefully they get this dub. It's a game seven. They're in Sacramento. Golden State stole a game from them. They stole game five from them. So they can go in there and win, but Golden State has been so lackluster and inefficient on the road that it scares me. I believe Steph or Clay will have to have a performance for the ages for them to win this series, but I won't be shocked if Sacramento takes it. I'm not going to say that the dynasty is over, but this has been a year that they've been tested, and it's hard to flip a switch on and off, once you get older and your young guns haven't been playing like we thought they were. So this is going to be interesting, man. I have Golden State taking it tomorrow. I just believe that the champs have something to prove, and they'll go on to round two and face the Lakers. That's what I believe in. So let's start from the beginning. Let's go to Milwaukee and Miami. This series, I have Milwaukee taking it. I thought Milwaukee would take it in five games if I'm not mistaken. And Miami beat them 4-1. No excuses, but Giannis did get hurt in game one. He missed 2 games. Milwaukee was able to get, I think they won, game 2 without him. And then they lost every other game. So, I was wrong. I stand corrected. Jimmy Butler is a motherfucking dog. This dude put on a performance for the ages against Milwaukee, and rightfully so. Jimmy Butler is one of those players that I believe gets overlooked because he's not a high volume 3-point shooter. He's the master of the mid range. But this dude, he puts on a show every year in the playoffs. And he showed, look, I don't give a damn. I smell blood. I'm going to take it. I'm going to go in for the kill. I'm a shark in infested waters. I'm going to go get this shit. And he did that. He showed out. And look, I'm a believer. My bad, Jimmy Butler. You are him. You know what I'm saying? They moving on to the second round, and they're going against the New York Knicks. The Knicks, they won their series against the Cavaliers. They won 4-1. Shout out to Jalen Brunson. Discarded by the Dallas Mavericks. Mark Cuban didn't want to pay this man, knowing that he was a vital piece of their success. He didn't want to pay him. He thought he wasn't worth the money. And look at what he's done for New York. He's changed the life for that team, for that city, for that organization. Jalen Brunson has arrived in New York and he shook shit up. He's the best player in New York right now. And I'm talking about for the Brooklyn Nets and for the New York Knicks. You know, I think they missed that because he scored 24. 24 and 5? 24 points, 5 assists in that first round series against the Cavaliers. You mean to tell me that Luka, and Luka said it towards the end of the season, I miss Jalen Brunson. I miss him. That was his helpmate. That was his backcourt helpmate right there. Starting both of those two, you have one big guard, one small guard, a change of pace guard, a guard that's shifty, and Luka, a guard that, you know, has a jump shot, could come off screens, and Jalen Brunson can get to the hole. Both of these guys can get to the cup anytime they wanted to, and you don't sign them. Yeah, Mark Cuban, you have to hold a L in New York. You get this dub for finally getting a free agent, a quality free agent outside of Melo and Amari Stoudemire, of course. You know, you landed this free agent that just fits perfectly into what Coach Thibodeau likes to do and what he wants to do. If you remember those Bulls teams in the 2010s centered around Derrick Rose, those teams were defensive minded, and you had a dynamic scorer in D Rose, and you had Joakim Noah, and you had Luol Deng. So you had people who were defensive minded but could also score. You know, they could, you know, at least give you 20 to go along with what Derrick Rose is going to give you. And now you have Jalen Brunson, and you know he's doing the same thing, man. R.J. Barrett is showing up. Julius Randle, get your head in the game, stop getting so frustrated. Play big, play down low. He's going to show up. Everybody knows their role, and everybody is like, this is Jalen Brunson's team. So he fits into this organization so well, fits the scheme of what Coach Thibodeau wants to do. And they went in and they dominated Cleveland 4-1. I didn't see that coming. I didn't see 4-1. I thought they would at least go 6 games, but the Knicks pulled it out. Kudos to Jalen Brunson. This Miami and this New York series is going to be crazy. Philly versus Brooklyn in the first round. I told y'all, man, I love the young guns in Brooklyn. I wouldn't, going into the series, I was like, don't add anything to that team. They don't need it. Just let them grow. And I stand corrected. They need a veteran presence. You have Mikal Bridges. But, they need someone that can calm that team down and go get a bucket when they need to get a bucket. Whether it be going to the hole or, just hitting a jumper, pulling it out to the 3-point. Somebody that can just come in and be a nice floor general, a presence in that locker room, can get the young guys' mind right and get them calm and go get a bucket. I really wish, that they had that veteran presence. They didn't, and they got swept. Joel Embiid is different. Let's just be real. That's the most dominant big man in the game, him and Giannis. And Jokic. Jokic is dominant as well. Dominant as well. He just does it different. But Joel Embiid, he is the MVP in my opinion. To me, Giannis could get it every year, but if we're not gonna give it to Giannis this year, it should go to Joel Embiid. Great defender, has a jump shot, dominant down low in the post. Man, this dude, he changes the game every time he's playing, man. And, they deserved it. Shouts out to James Harden. Turning back the hands of time, being the scorer when he needs to, but really facilitating and spreading the floor out for Philly, man. They have a great team. And, there are others, they step up as well. You had Tobias Harris stepping up in the absence of Joel Embiid. And, man, what more can I say? Philly, they showed out, and they're moving on to the next round, and they have the winner of the Boston and Atlanta series, which went 6 games, surprisingly. I really wasn't seeing that. I really didn't see that happening. I didn't think Atlanta could get a game off of Boston, let alone 2. And they did. They got 2 games off of them, man. They went and snatched one in Boston, as a matter of fact. Trae Young is I'm not going to say he's underrated. He's undervalued. Reminds me of Allen Iverson, a high-volume shooter, not as efficient as you would want him to be, but he's good. He's a great player, man, but he was going up against that law firm, as Unc says, Shannon Sharp, Tatum and Brown, or Brown and Tatum. It's hard to beat 2 wing players that are athletic and can shoot and can get to the hole any time that they want to. And Jaylen Brown, defensive-wise, he's a problem. And you pair that with Marcus Smart and Robert Williams. You have, what's the guy coming off the bench? Just won 6th Man of the Year. I forgot it, Malcolm Brogdon. You have him coming off the bench, and you have this great coach, first-time coach. I forgot his name. I'm sorry, y'all, but it was just a perfect storm. Boston, they have something to prove. They went to the finals last year, came up short against Golden State, and I know they want to get back there. So, I ain't gonna say they made easy work of Atlanta because it was a hard series for them, but I got them coming out the East now. Since Milwaukee lost, I feel like Boston, they have it. They have something to prove. And let me rewind. Let me go back to Cleveland, the Cleveland and New York series. Donovan Mitchell, Spider, bro, I love you. I'm a fan of yours, dog. I'm not gonna lie. I rock with you when you was in Utah. You put on a hell of a performance in the bubble against Denver. I was going to say Jamal Crawford. But you and Jamal Murray, y'all went back and forth, man. Y'all put on a spectacle. Spider, you have to become more efficient. You can't keep disappearing in the playoffs, man. They gon', forever undervalue you and say that you're overrated if you don't start winning in the playoffs, bro. You really have to get your mind right and do what you're supposed to do in the postseason. I'm not going to call you trash or none of that. You real nice, but, bro, you have to get out of that first round. You got to get to the second round. You got to get yourself to a conference finals. So I needed to say that, you know what I'm saying, about that New York series. All right, so let's get relaxed. Let's chill. Let's go to the West. Out West, you had Denver and Minnesota, 4-1. You know how that go. Jokic, they made quick work of Minnesota. Karl Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert, all that hype for nothing. Seriously. Karl Anthony Towns, I don't know what's up with you, man. You gotta get to it. Word up. Like, I don't understand. I really don't. I don't get it. I don't know what's going on with you, man, but you need to get up with Anthony Davis and figure some things out, because you come and go. You disappear. You show up and then you disappear. Y'all aren't going to win with you showing up small in the playoffs. year after year when y'all do make the playoffs. Jokic, what can I say? Maybe he's one of the best foreign players ever. We have to give him that back-to-back MVP. Made it to the Western Conference Finals in the bubble in 2020. Uh, could very well get his third straight MVP. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? We'll see. But if he gets it, he deserves it. He plays his ass off. Jamal Murray, he's coming back. You got Michael Porter Jr. You know, that team is loaded. You know, they're loaded, but they have to me the hardest second round series going up against Phoenix. Phoenix is just a juggernaut. They won their series 4-1 against the Clippers. Let's talk about Russell Westbrook. This is what I want to talk about when it comes down to that first round series. He lost Kawhi Leonard, and he had to go at it alone. I hope Brody. I hope he shut y'all up. Word up. I hope he shut up all the haters, all the critics, everybody who calls him Russell Westbrook. This dude went out there and showed that he's still the man. He's still the number one. People will say all the time, oh, you know, look at what he did in LA. He just wasn't a good fit for the Lakers. He helped get the Wizards to the playoffs. He helped get the Rockets to the playoffs. When he was the only one left in OKC, when he won the MVP, he got OKC to the 6th seed in the playoffs. Made it to the playoffs with Paul George. You give Russell Westbrook his own team, I guarantee you he will make it to the playoffs every year. He's the man. He is the man. He averaged 23, 7, and 7 in that series against the Phoenix Suns. He did his thing. He balled out. He's a top 75 player. He's going to be, you know, first ballot Hall of Famer. And, you know, they don't have that in the NBA. But as soon as he's eligible to go into the Hall of Fame, he's going into the Hall of Fame. He's walking through that bitch, moonwalking through that bitch. If he gets his own team, if he goes somewhere and he's the man, he will get in the playoffs. And then people want to say this. They want to say, hey, you know, the way his style of play doesn't equate to winning and winning championships. Well, it's a lot of great players, a lot of all-time greats who don't have the hot hardware. So let's get to chopping this fable, as my man Loaded Lux said when he went up against Calico, when he shredded Calico. Let's get to chopping this fable. Russell Westbrook is that nigga. He's still the man. Brody can go out there and get you a triple dub at the drop of a dime. He made it so effortless to do this shit. People want to shit on triple doubles now because of how good Russell Westbrook is and was. Still is to this day. You put him anywhere where he can be the man, he's going to show you he's still the man. So to all the haters out there that wanted to talk shit about him and, you know, clown him and just, you know, discard him like he's just some role player, he got the last laugh. They went out 4-1, but he was going up against Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, DeAndre Ayton, Chris Paul. Come on, man. Come on. That's 4 all-stars. Let's be real. But he did his thing, man. He did his thing. So you got Memphis and LA. You know, that LA won that 4-2. Spanked him. LeBron popping his shit on social media. Check his Twitter. Check his Instagram. He said, if you see me fighting the Grizzly, bro, help the bear. Straight shot at them young boys. And I like the Grizzlies, man. I do. But they're putting the cart before the horse. You have no rivals because y'all haven't won anything to have a rival. You have the defensive player of the year in Jaren Jackson Jr. You have a great all-star and Ja Morant. Desmond Bain is that dude. You had a couple pieces injured, but they were role players. But you had your core group together, and Dylan Brooks poked the bear. Went at LeBron. Put the cart before the horse. And LeBron spanked his ass. You can't do that. You can't go up against an all-time great and then, you popping your shit when y'all are winning. But the minute you start losing, you become a coward and you duck your head between your legs or your tail between your legs and you run off. Nah, fam. You got to stand on that. You got to stand on business. Dylan Brooks did not stand on business. He didn't stand on business. He got exposed as a fraud. And now, moving forward, we're going to hope and pray and talk to the basketball guys that Memphis can bounce back next year and get further in the playoffs, man. But they need a veteran presence. And I know they have, what's the big guy? Adams. They have him. He was hurt part of the year. But they need that. And this is no knock on him. He's a foreign player. But they need that American presence, like a Udonis Haslem, like a Andre Iguodala. You need that veteran that can tell these young guys to sit down and to relax, handle business on and off the court, and be a good representation. Josh Young, he's going to make mistakes. I wasn't jumping on him like everybody else was. You young, you're impressionable. Times have changed. Social media, the gang, the gang culture is being pushed. You know what I'm saying? The get money culture is being pushed. The violence is being pushed. People feel like they have something to prove. And he's one of those guys who feels like he has something to prove. Money just shows who you are, who you really are. And this is the image that he wants to portray and wanted to portray. But hopefully, this slice of humble pie served to them by the Los Angeles Lakers, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. Let me say this about AD, and I'm going to get back to Ja. AD, arguably top 5 player in the NBA. When that mug start clicking and going, there's not too many men in the NBA that can do what he does. Talking about a 7-footer who can shoot, who can rebound, block shots. He is what Joel Embiid and Jokic are. When I would get on the game, when he was still with the Pelicans, my son used to be like, "Why are you getting the Pelicans?" I'm like, Anthony Davis is a monster. He is. He's a beast. He should be what Giannis is. I'm not saying that the explosiveness and all that, because he's not that. But Giannis is this player whose motor just goes and he knows that he can't be stopped. He's not going to let you stop him. If you stop him, he gonna go down swinging. Some games AD show up, some games he doesn't. AD, if you show up every game, if you play like you know you can play, if you play like you played in 2020, y'all are gonna win the championship because no one can stop you. And you can stop people on the defensive end. I watch you. I've been watching you since Kentucky. You are that dude. But you got to show up every night. You can't take no days off. You know that you are a champion. You're a champion. I don't care what people say. Oh, they won it in the bubble. That took that mental fortitude. That took heart. That took focus and discipline to be able to do that. And you did it. You didn't crack under pressure. Now's your time to shine. Whoever you got next round, they can't mess with you. Kevon Looney can't. Draymond Green can't. DeMontis Sabonis, he can't. Who else is it? Lynn, he can't. No one can mess with you, no matter who y'all get going forward. You always have the advantage. You are a mismatch waiting to happen. We know what Bron gonna do. At the age of 38, breaking the all-time, the number 1 scorer in league history, breaking that record this year. LeBron is going to give you his 27. He going to explode for 40 if he has to. We know what he gonna do, and he's gonna be efficient doing it. We need you to show up and show out. But back to Ja, I hope this playoff run, because he said they don't have anybody to worry about in the West, and that turned out to be a lie. But unlike his teammate Dylan Brooks, he actually stood on that square and said, "I'll take it. I'll take what comes with it." That's a true sign of a great leader, and I respect that about you. But now it's time to. You don't have to be humble, but your actions gonna have to match those words. Meaning, your ass gonna have to win moving forward. You don't get no leeway now. Y'all are getting older. Y'all still young, but you getting older. So people are looking at you. You want to turn up, and all this outside of basketball. Outside of the court, and y'all want to be cocky, arrogant on the court. You're gonna have to win you something. If you don't win the championship, you at least need to get to the Western Conference Finals, or at least get to the finals. Win that shit, people will stay off your back. It's amazing what a ring do for you. So you got LA coming out that series, and this is what I am praying for right here. The two series, well, it's really all the series next round are dope. But let me start with this. No, I ain't even gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not even gonna talk about. I wanted to be LA and Golden State. I'm gonna talk about this shit. I wanted to be the Lakers versus Golden State next round. I wanted to be Bron versus Steph. I do. I wanted to be Bron versus Steph outside of the finals. And I want my boy to win. I want Steph to win. I tell people all the time, this is LeBron's era. Once he got in the league in 03, he became the best player probably in like 07. Till Bron retires, he's still the best player, in my opinion. Bron has one person on his level when it comes down to it through this era, especially the 2010s. He has one peer, and that's Steph Curry. That's that boy in Golden State. He's the only person that's on that man's level. It's not KD. It's not Kawhi. It's not Giannis. It's not Joel. It's not Jokic. It's none of them. It's Stephen Curry. These two have been the face of the league. This rivalry is second to none. Everyone watches. They tune in. And I love it. I argue with people all the time because they discredit Steph. I say, no, he's Bron's only peer. That's his competition. LeBron James' competition is Steph Curry. When they start writing about these two in this rivalry, it's going to be up there at the top. Near the top. This rivalry will be there. I'm hoping and praying my boys handle business tomorrow, and they get LA. I really do. I'm not going to get too far into detail. We'll talk about it more in depth, but I want that to happen. The second series that I'm looking and I'm watching, I'm anticipating, will be the Knicks going against the Miami Heat. Man, this rivalry to me, it started when Pat Riley left, when he left New York in 95 and went down to Miami, and he's been down there ever since. From 95 to the current date, Pat Riley has been down in Miami. The 1998 playoffs, the Miami Heat were the 2 seed, and New York was the 7 seed. You had Game 4 where you had that brawl erupt, and you had not Pat Riley, but you had Jeff Van Gundy grabbing on to, I believe it was Alonzo Mourning's leg, and New York actually, this is when the first round was 5 games. They won that series 3-2. This is a rivalry for the ages, and it gets revisited. I love it. I'm ready to see it. You have Jimmy Butler, popping his shit. He's gonna be amped up. Bam Adebayo. I don't know if Tyler Hero is gonna play next series, but they have a lot of young guns on that team. That's they weren't how anyone's draft list. I think some of those guys didn't even get drafted. I may be wrong, but I think I'm accurate with that. Going up against Jalen Brunson and the Knicks. This is going to be one of those defensive series. It's going to be a lot of hard fouls. It's going to be a lot of trash talk, and it should be because Pat Riley, the Godfather, that presence, that Marlon Brando, that character. If you haven't seen The Godfather, you need to watch it. Pat Riley is Don Vito, and he's still in Miami calling shots. I'm ready to see that. I'm ready to see it. I'm ready for that series, man. It's going to be a throwback. It's very nostalgic, for real. The last time Miami and New York faced each other in the playoffs, I believe it's when Braun was there, and that shit just was not competitive. They were, Miami was just better than them. They had Melo, but, Braun in Miami was a different type of monster. That was a beast. That might be the best version of Braun ever. But I'm ready for that. I'm ready to see it. I'm ready to hear Madison Square Garden. Those Knicks fans, man, they believe they have it. They believe that they can make it all the way to the championship, and it would be love to see that happen, man. But they're going to have to get through Miami, and that's not going to be a walk in the park. Eric Spoelstra, Udonis Haslem, and Pat Riley, they will have those boys in Miami ready, and Coach Tibbs will have New York ready. There's going to be a defensive struggle. But I believe that New York has it. I do. Philly and Boston. Man. So I have the Knicks taking it in 7 games. I think that series is going 7. You got Philly and Boston up next. Man, oh man. Okay. I have Boston winning this, and I'm going to tell you why. I just don't think Philly matches up well with them because you have 2 athletic wing players that can go get it at any given time. Now, if Joel Embiid turns into Hakeem Mutombo, meaning he takes rebounding from Hakeem and shot blocking from Hakeem and his offensive prowess, and he combines that with Dikembe Mutombo's rebounding and defensive prowess, and he can just swat everything coming through the lane, coming through the middle, and he can stay upright, stop falling on the damn floor. You're going to shorten your career. You're going to hurt your tailbone or your back, and you're going to be out for the series. If Joel can somehow average 40, 10, and 5, Philly can win it. But if they're not going to do that, man, I don't believe they have enough to beat Tatum and Brown. I really don't. And Marcus Smart, he's going to be a nuisance. They'll be able to, James Harden has lost a step. They'll be able to throw different bodies at him. I think Boston has it. I don't see this one going 7. I believe Boston will take it in 6. That's just me. I may be wrong. When we go, I told you Denver and Phoenix. I believe that Phoenix has it. I think Phoenix will take this one in 5 games. I think Denver will get 1, but I may have said 6 earlier, but I'm gonna go with 5. I believe it's gonna be a 4-1 series. Whoever LA gets, man, if AD shows up and he's that monster the way we know he can be that monster, they're going to make it competitive. They will beat Sacramento. I believe they will take Sacramento in 6 games. But if they get Golden State is a matchup nightmare for LA. Bron and AD, they are the best duo on the floor. But I think team-wise, Golden State will just have way more firepower. And I believe Golden State will take that series in 7 games. I believe, and this is it's crazy because 2016 NBA Finals, when it got to a game 7, I'm at Arigatos, and I say Bron ain't losing no game 7. This is a different Steph. He has something to prove, and if they beat Sacramento tomorrow, they will get the Lakers in a game 7. Steph will shine. He'll get his lick back. So that wraps it up for the NBA. Let's move on to last weekend. Let me talk about that real quick because I got to get ready for the game. Got to post some clips up as well. So last weekend you had Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis. Tank stopped him. Tank smaller than Ryan. Ryan was taller, had the reach, was giving him problems. But in that second round, when Tank caught him with that left and dropped him, it made Ryan Garcia think twice about letting his hands go. If you watch that fight, once he started letting his hands go, he was pressuring Tank. He had him. But once he felt that power, I knew it was over. But I still think that if it would have went the distance, we would have got a draw or Ryan would have won. If he wouldn't have dropped him again. And that's why I think it would have been a draw. Let me say that. I think it would have turned out being a draw because Ryan was pressuring him. He was throwing them hands. You know what I'm saying? He was letting his hands go. But Tank caught him again, body shot. It made him think twice. Looked like he fucked up his ribs. People were saying it was a liver shot. It looked more like a rib shot to me. And if you've ever been hitting your ribs, if you've ever fallen on your back, if you ever had the wind knocked out of you, it ain't fun. So if he cracked his ribs or fractured them in any kind of way, he took the breath out of him. He took the fight out that man. He ain't want no more of that power. He ain't want no more of that strength. Tank got the dub, man. I'm ready to see Tank and who is it? Tank and Devin Haney. I'm ready to see that. Make that happen. I ain't gonna tell y'all who I got. We'll talk about it when that time come, if it come. Now I'm ready for Spence and Crawford. I think Spence will get them. I love how these guys are starting to fight each other more. They're not waiting until, they get older. Start fighting each other in your prime. This is what boxing was built off of, man. We had super fights all the time. So kudos to those guys, man. Tank, you did your thing. You deserved that dub, man. You went in there undersized, and you proved your fucking point. I tip my hat to you. Straight up, you did your thing. Now, let's talk about this NFL draft, man. The NFL draft has been interesting. It's the first time since 1999 that 3 black quarterbacks came off the board in the first round. And these 3 black quarterbacks, I believe all of them were taken within the first 5 picks. You have Bryce Young from Alabama, got drafted number 1 to the Carolina Panthers. You had C.J. Stroud from Ohio State. He was drafted to the Texans. And you had Anthony Richards out of Florida, drafted to my team, the Indianapolis Colts. If you don't know the story, I'll tell you the story. I was a Peyton Manning fan when he was at Tennessee. I was like, who's this lanky white boy that can throw the ball like this? And when he got drafted to the Colts, he was my guy. He was my guy. So I followed Peyton Manning to the Colts, stayed loyal, stayed down with them. When he left, I was still there. I was cheering for Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck was a great player. But, I followed him to Denver. I was watching him. I was rooting for him. I was cheering for him. He got his second, Super Bowl ring and all that. So I've been a Colts fan. Did not think we would draft a black quarterback, but I know we needed to draft a quarterback because we had Phillip Rivers. He didn't get us nowhere. Carson Wentz. He didn't get us nowhere. Matt Ryan. He didn't get us nowhere. So I'm like, okay, we can't just keep going and get these old veterans. We got to get us somebody to build with. Let me drink some water. Sorry about that, y'all. Usually, if I'm pausing like this, I would hit stop and start all the way over. We 45 minutes in, and look, my mentality has changed. Y'all gonna get this shit one way or the other. But I believe that we needed a quarterback, and we got one in Anthony Richardson, man. He's a freak of nature. You see him, he can put that shit on the string. They will give him time because I believe we have Gardner Minshew. He'll probably start. Give the young fella time to learn and develop. Y'all need to call Peyton. Get him with Peyton for his pocket presence, and just to learn from a great master of this art of playing quarterback. Come on, let's be real. If it's no Peyton Manning, it's no new Lucas Oil Stadium. That was Peyton Manning's stadium. He built that. So go get him, let him learn, let Peyton teach him his mobility. Peyton has no mobility, but the mobility, that God-given talent that he does possess, just build off of that, man. Well, I'm happy, I'm proud, I'm glad that we got him, and it's just a dope draft to see 3 black quarterbacks taken in the first 5 picks in the first round. Like I said, it happened in 1999. You had Dante Culpepper, you had Donovan McNabb, you had Achilles Smith. Achilles Smith went to Cincinnati. Donovan McNabb went to Philly, and he had a great career there. And Dante Culpepper went to Minnesota. We know what him and Randy Moss was doing. So, this is special, this is dope, this is cool. I love that we took a chance on a black quarterback, a young black quarterback. We need that. I seen Rob Parker say that, the white quarterback is becoming extinct. I won't say that. I won't say that they're extinct. But these white quarterbacks are going to have to start being mobile. They're going to have to start being agile, because what's happening is defenders are faster. They're bigger, but they're faster. They hit harder, and they're coming. You know what I'm saying? So, I think more and more teams are starting to realize that they don't want their quarterback to be stationary, standing in the pocket, getting hurt. They don't want you running every play, but they don't want you to be a statue either. So I believe that the black quarterback is on the rise. We see it. In more and more of these guys are being successful. Just look at, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson. My boy got paid, and let me do his numbers the right way. 5 years, $260 million, $185 guaranteed. That's $52 million a year. The highest paid player in the NBA, in the NFL, is a black quarterback. Now the market is going to be reset again. Deshaun Watson, let me not leave him out either. The market is going to be reset again because you have these white quarterbacks. They're coming, their contracts are coming due. So, somebody's going to make more than Lamar, and that's perfectly fine. But he got his just due, and all of the black quarterbacks are getting their just due. And it's taking these guys years and years, decades, to prove that they're worthy to stand on the same stage as their white counterparts. And I love that. The days of just having that stationary drop back 5 steps, let it rip quarterback, those days are over. Look at Patrick Mahomes. Look at how he improvises. Aaron Rodgers is the same way. Lamar Jackson, we know how dominant he is and how dynamic he is. Jalen Hurts, we see just how great of a quarterback he is. Look at what he did his first year compared to getting his team to the Super Bowl last year. He improved astronomically. So, them saying that black quarterbacks, because the stigma on black quarterbacks was they didn't have the mental capacity to, be a quarterback and to win and play in the NFL at the highest level. They always wanted these guys to switch positions, either receiver or running back or whatever the case may be. Those days are over. So kudos to those three young men. I hope you guys have a great, prosperous career. Like I said, I'll name them again: Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson. Congratulations to y'all. Again, shout out to Lamar Jackson and his mom, firing his agent, letting his mom handle his business, keeping that money in the family, but also just taking the chance on yourself, betting on yourself, gambling on yourself, letting people know that you deserve what you got. You're worth every penny. This is going back to him winning the MVP award his second season. Lamar really, he stood on business. He stood on business. He made sure that he didn't renege on going to that negotiating table, back against the wall, odds against you. You look those people dead in their eyes, and you got what you deserve. So kudos to you. Kudos to the whole New Era team, man. Because his name on Instagram is New Era 8. I don't know if that's what he called his team, but I'm going to call his team that because that's his handle. So kudos to you. Shout out to you, man. But look, it's 8:25. I'm about to, get up off here. I appreciate y'all. This has been another Millionaire Vision Company production, another Anything Goes podcast. We'll call this the Sports Corner, though. I appreciate y'all, man. Look, I have a message for y'all at the end of my podcast tomorrow, so I'll save that. It'll go along with everything that I'm doing. But, I appreciate y'all rocking with me, man. I know I've been up and down. I'll take breaks from everything and, come back and I'll tell y'all like, hey, I'm here to stay, and then I disappear. I'm working on that. Seriously. I love y'all. I love doing what I do, and we're going to keep the momentum up. We're going to keep picking up steam, and, I'm going to drop my opinions on a lot of things, everything positive, of course. And I'll see y'all tomorrow, man. Y'all have a good night. Y'all be blessed. Oh, yeah. Make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel, MVC Streets. That's my YouTube name. Y'all know to like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Look me up on Instagram, MVC_Streets with a Z. And the Millionaire Vision Company on Facebook. Follow that page, and also my personal page, which is Travis Streets Bethay. And I'm also on TikTok, and that is at MVC Streets, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, I'll correct it tomorrow and let y'all know. But make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. Follow me on every platform. We're here to stay. Y'all enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'm out.